Morning. I don't know what's the matter with me this morning. I cannot get warm. I know the kids haven't been particularly well, but I've had a decent breakfast this morning. I've been to the gym. I'm not warming up. So I'm going to go and have a coffee and see if I can feel any better. But hopefully I'm not coming down with anything, because I've got so much planned over the next week. Not least of all, next weekend I've booked in for an initial test drive of the new Nissan Leaf. First time I'm going to get to see it, certainly sit in it and have a go of it. So it'll be kind of first impressions really, and we'll see where we go from there. Whether I then, well, I'm sure I will book in for a decent test drive and have it for a few days with any luck, but we'll see. For now I've got a friend to meet and coffee to drink, so I'll speak to you in a bit. Well, that's me feeling an awful lot better. It's a few hours since I spoke to you. I think we had about 3 cups of coffee and it's perked me right up. Don't underestimate the power, the healing nature of caffeine. I do it every day. Anyway, I wanted to just show you this quickly. That is Thomas's birthday present. It was his birthday yesterday, and this is like a modern day version of Scale Electric. Look, it's so easy to set up, take down. You control it with your phone or tablet. You race each other, battle each other. You can get power-ups, all sorts of stuff. It's like a cross between Scale Electric and a computer game. He loves it, and I've been playing on it while he's been at school. But that's not what I want to talk to you about today. Today I want to talk to you about China. China is a topic that has fascinated me pretty much since I bought an EV, and perhaps I'm a little bit naive, but I find it interesting how China have almost got like a prime position in the world when it comes to electric vehicles. And how's that come about? The big drive obviously has been subsidies. Now they are second in the world only to Norway for the amount of subsidies that the government give for electric vehicles. Well, certainly that was true up until January of this year. There's loads of incentives, which also included things like in some of the major cities, in order to get a registration for your car, so to own a car there, you either have to pay a phenomenal amount of money, go into a lottery, or go into an auction in order to get a registration document and plate. If you buy an electric vehicle, you don't have to do any of that. You get it for free. There's no waiting list, nothing. So in those 6 cities, I think it is, that this applies to, the uptake in electric vehicles has been massive. It's overtaken everything else. So from a subsidy point of view and incentive point of view, that's the reasons why people are buying so many electric vehicles. There's also a big government initiative around effectively driving their economy forward in a very structured way towards the future. So I think it's called Made in China 2025 is the umbrella it comes under. I think there's 10 areas that they want to develop, things like robotics, semiconductors, but one of those is electric vehicles. So it very much is in the forefront of the government's mind. Let's drive this forward, and you can rest assured that within that is autonomous vehicles as well. So with the government backing it, with the subsidies in place, I think the sale of electric vehicles in 2016 in China was 45% of their overall sales of vehicles, which is a huge amount. And you know, if you've got all these incentives, money off and all the rest of it, then you can understand why they're buying. Norway's been exactly the same. So what's changed? There's been a lot, and this is what's really got me thinking about it again recently. Loads and loads of press recently about how China are leading the way, but things are changing. And just recently they talked about their electric buses. They've got tens and tens of thousands of electric buses, but the subsidies are being cut. So the amount that they're selling has reduced massively, and it really does go to show that if you subsidise something enough, people will buy it regardless. So the subsidies are being cut now. Basically, year on year, every year, the subsidies will be cut by 20% until 2019, when all the subsidies disappear. I will come on to how that's going to play out in the future, because there is still some ways of making electric vehicles cheaper through the government. So I'll come on to that. Up until that point, there's going to be not only a phasing out of the amount that you can get for the subsidy, but they also want to drive the production forward. So not just allow manufacturers to rest on their laurels and just produce electric cars. What they want to do is force them to produce electric cars with bigger batteries and longer ranges. In fact, what I've had to do, because it is quite interesting and I couldn't remember it, I've had to write down how that's going to work. So if you have an electric vehicle with a range less than 150 kilometres, you'll get no subsidy at all for it. If you have an electric vehicle with 300 plus kilometres range, then you'll get the subsidy as it currently is. So that will remain the status quo. If you can produce an electric vehicle with over 400 kilometres of range, then you will get a higher rate subsidy for it. And it's interesting again because they've got their own manufacturing, they've got their own battery plants, which is another really interesting topic and probably for another day, because it looks like they're going to, if not be up there, will be leading the world in it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put up on the screen some of the vehicles that they produce at the moment, because they actually look quite nice. Not anything I've ever heard of, but I'll put up some pictures, and the range that they are looking to achieve very much is up there with what we are expecting over the next 18 months. So they're certainly not backwards in coming forward with their design, development and manufacturing of electric vehicles. So that's how they're going to sit now over the next few years. What I want to look at then is beyond 2019, and how's that going to look? They're going to or introduce a voucher scheme, if you like. So if you are a manufacturer who produces vehicles, you need to produce a percentage of electric vehicles or renewable type energy vehicles. It doesn't have to be pure electric. If you do that, you'll get a number of vouchers for which they will be worth a value, and that it will effectively be your subsidy for building renewable, well, I'll call them electric vehicles because that's mainly what I talk about, but you understand it can be hybrid, hydrogen, anything under that umbrella. So if you build them, then you'll get a number of vouchers. If you don't build them, then you have to buy an amount of vouchers to offset the percentage that you should have built. Now you can buy those vouchers from the government, or you can buy them from other manufacturers. So if you're a manufacturer producing EVs, you can sell your vouchers to another manufacturer that isn't, and that will obviously fund your subsidies. So I guess a clever system of trying to promote people, designing and building these vehicles, but you can also still carry on producing fossil burning vehicles. It's just you're going to have to pay that little bit extra for them. So that's how they're going to work in the future. Well, all of this has really started to attract the interest of vehicle manufacturers that certainly we in the Western world know. So we've seen Tesla, they're kind of in and out, are they, aren't they? It's all around the subsidies, but they're certainly there in China. We're looking at Nissan wanting to go there, and a number of other companies are really striving to get a foothold in that market. And when I talk about other companies, I'm talking about the big ones, your Fords, your VWs, GM. They're all really trying whatever they can do to get a foothold in that market. And to keep things, this doesn't go on too much, I want to have a look at what Nissan are doing in particular, and talk to you about how they're trying to get a foothold in that market. Now, Nissan in China. So what are they doing? They've got a 50-50 joint venture with a company called Dongfeng. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. And they've come to an agreement that they're going to produce and sell 20 electrified vehicles in China. Now, they're talking about using the Nissan e-Power model, which effectively is a hybrid vehicle. But that's not to say they're all going to be hybrid. I think there's going to be a mixture there. Whether they'll be more all electric than hybrid, time will tell. But the point is they are going in the right direction. Now, from what I can make out, it's not going to have a Nissan badge on the front, but they are supplying the know-how, the manufacturing and the resources in order for this company to build electric vehicles, which is great news. put on top of that also that Infiniti, now that's the kind of, I guess, luxury arm of Nissan, they are they've said by 2022 that 25% of the Infiniti vehicles that they sell in China will be electrified. So that's great news. But then they've a massive leap forward after that. 2025, they've said that 100% of the vehicles that they sell in China will be electric. I think that's really, really positive forward thinking, and all I can say is that if you look at the support the government is giving it there and the drive that they're putting into things, that just goes to show what results that can bring. Now, whether that will equate to profitable results, time will tell, but clearly there's something to be made in it, because all these huge motor manufacturing companies wouldn't be trying to break into China if there wasn't something in it for them. So some really positive news from China. It's helped me understand a little bit what's going on there, because it has been a bit of a black hole for me, really. I keep seeing all these articles about subsidies in China changing, and it didn't mean a lot to me, so it's nice to take the time just to work it out. Hopefully it's explained it to you as well, and if you've enjoyed it, please remember just to like and share the video, and if you're not doing so already, subscribe to the channel. And hopefully next time I will be visiting the Retro Man Cave, and for a bit of computer fun there. And then obviously we got the Nissan Leaf test coming up soon as well. So yeah, if you haven't hit it already, it's changed. Hit that notification button, then you'll be alerted when any new videos come on. And I'll see you again soon. Take care.